So they asked him to come back and train.
For that matter, my daughter.
Are you rolling?
You good, Scott?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right.
It's behind you, up against the wall.
Santas and Mrs. Clauses. Since they haven't served our meal yet, to expedite the meeting later, we're going to get the opening ceremonies out of the way. If you will rise and attend the Pledge of Allegiance. And then we will, who wants to do the invocation? Lauren?
No, I'm going to let the fire.
Fire it. Would you like to handle it?
Santa Michael.
Do you have friendly privileges with the good Lord there, Pirate Santa?
Yes.
All right, good. Then we're good to go. All right. And I
pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hooah!
Are you just gonna sing?
after the invitation.
Okay. Lord, bless all these fine ladies and gentlemen here in our red, and bless all the children of the world. And I hope that today will be a good day for them all. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
He has the Knights Templar emblem.
I didn't get my raffle tickets after I purchased them.
Good day already.
Okay, thank you guys. Go ahead and have a seat. We'll go ahead and mention a few of our members and associates who are unwell and in need of our prayer. We're so glad to see that Peter Perone was able to make it today.
I forgot to take my tickets.
You can still pray for him, though. He
After I
doesn't
paid
mind.
for them to get my
You
tickets.
know, prayers I can give you.
I need to get tickets off of there.
It's like me, he's trying to balance a karma account, so please help him out all you can. Also, I'd like you guys to remember Cliffy Cox. I've heard from, we were trying to arrange to bring Cliff today, and his daughter contacted me and let me know that he's not doing as well as they would like him to do. He is unfortunately becoming more disassociative. He's having more trouble getting around now. He can only stand with a walker. Santa Cliff Cox. Yeah, Cliffy is one of our oldest members. He's got to be 86, 87 years old now. Yes. So anyway, we try to get him out of that group home as much as we can. Unfortunately, he can only handle so. His windows are becoming shorter and shorter, and between commute to one of our meetings and to get back, it's just beyond his capacity. So I'm afraid that we're going to be reduced to visiting Cliffy in situ from now on. I apologize. If any of you, and one other thing, we received a notification just this morning that Santa Jim Johnson has taken his final sleigh ride. I hasten to assure you that it is not our Forbes member, Santa Jim Johnson. However, this Jim Johnson has attended our reunion. He is in one of our earlier yearbooks, in our Santa yearbook. So some of you may know him, and he certainly knows us. Knew us, I apologize. Anyway, we will keep him also in our prayers, and as more information develops, since he is a Southern California Santa, I believe, we will pass on to Keith Knight.
We don't know.
Yeah,
We don't know what
lunch,
city.
so
They
we'll
didn't
just-
tell us what city.
We'll take a shot. If we get further information, we'll pass it on to the membership, obviously. And they're still not delivering the meal, so we will move along. I am going to have to, this is going to be a relatively short meeting today because Diva saw signs for a community garage sale. And this special thanks to today's hostess, Diva Claus, arranged this. This is our first time.
I love you, Larry Lee.
This is our first time using this venue, and I'd like to point out that the management has been so cooperative with us. They've even offered us a special menu if we want to come back, or when we come back, since we'll obviously be using this venue again. I hope that its location isn't the reason there's so many empty seats here. It doesn't seem that
think so.
inconvenient, does it? For those in North County? Okay. All right, cool. I was hoping that it wasn't. So anyway,
I'm glad.
do we have any?
I'm glad I found it.
He offered us a custom menu, which would save us some money on future visits if we wanted to. We all ordered off the regular menu today, or one of the 7 menus that they offered us apparently. But in the future, I just wanted to let you guys know that we have an option of ordering a group menu, which will give us, I think, 2 or 3 choices of meals and a significant discount. So they're reaching out to us, and we're going to appreciate that.
Hey, just put that money in the basket.
That's hey, you dropped the Saboba chip. It's right down there next to it. 500. That's a good one. Yeah. Okay. Do we have any? Do we have anyone here for the first time today? I think I see. I think all of our smiling faces.
Everybody.
We do have one visitor. Yes, an irregular, if you will. Yeah, introduce yourself for the minutes.
Oh, me?
Yes,
please. Yes, I'm Michael Empey, or Santa Michael McLeod from Riverside, and it's good to be here again.
He's also known as the Pirate Santa.
Yes, yes.
It's his persona, Santa McLeod.
That's how he rounds up his presents.
Well, thank you, Santa. Yeah, really. So if you get a doubloon in your stocking, you know it wasn't me. I'm giving him dryer lint this year.
I just have to make sure I don't fall over in a yo-ho-ho. No, I think it might be a little awkward.
We're in all for Christmas. Okay, guys, we're going to wrap it up with that and resume the meeting after our meal. Thank you very much.
Oh, I can't roll on flat ground.
Okay, you guys ready? All right, we're live. Okay, we'll resume the meeting. Call the meeting back to order. We have made our way down to the approval of the August minutes. We recognized our guests and everything. By the way, the Langs came in right after we said that, so welcome to you guys too. Good to see you guys here too.
I move to accept the minutes as distributed.
It's been moved and seconded that we accept the minutes as distributed. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Thank you. Minutes are accepted as distributed. All right, moving on. The next item is the treasurer's report. SotOC Treasurer Bob Callahan.
This is kind of self-explanatory what we have here. There is still, from today, like we're going to, it was 27 plus 10. Is there another?
No, it was 27. I forgot to take my tickets.
Oh, you paid.
I did. He can tell you I paid.
Okay, so we're going to add 27 from today's 50-50 raffle. And the board has decided to distribute $500 to San Diego and $500 to Inland Empire to add to their charitable projects. And Orange County will get theirs after Quartermania. So we will still have a $500 to add to this. And this is really working, most of this, you know, I have dues as a top thing. But other than dues, like most of this funds is going to go to our Christmas charity, which Jim and Ann Steinmetz have said that they would do again this year.
Bob?
Yes.
I have a question. Remember we discussed briefly, how long do we hold the $10 dues thing? It's a one-time deal. And since it's not refundable, how long do we hold that? What can we research that if you need?
Well, you could add it to a bereavement fund, and in case you need to buy flowers or something. I just like to keep money on hand. I just like to not be broke. Yeah, right.
We did that last year. We got back just in case there was.
You're talking about the $10 you're referring to as chapter registration fees? Okay, so why would you hold that at all? It should, once tendered.
That's what we weren't sure.
Oh, yeah. Once, I would assume that once tendered, their chapter funds, yes. That's exactly, right.
I just didn't want to spend it if we had to keep it.
You don't have to.
I mean, I'm not going to spend it.
That hesitance kept you out of the chain, that's so good.
In June, was it June, when we had the picnic at the Elks Lodge?
Yes.
And I charged everybody $5 per person, and we ended up with $100 profit out of that deal. Thanks to the Elks Lodge not charging us for a bartender. So I gave $100 to Randy and Luann Barrows because we were their guests at the Elks Lodge and said they could put this to their favorite charity. Well, as it turns out, Luann works with Breast Cancer Angels, and she runs a walkathon out of the Elks Lodge there every November. So she wrote the check off to Breast Cancer Angels, and Orange County Sanders got this letter back. We would like to thank you for your generous donation of $100. Your gift will enrich the lives of many women with breast cancer and their children in our communities, and we really truly appreciate your support. Since 2000, Breast Cancer Angels has been an organization that financially and emotionally assists women and men while they are in treatment for breast cancer. Thanks to corporate sponsors, 100% of your donation will immediately assist someone struggling with the disease in your community. As of now, we assist in Orange County, the South Bay, and San Diego. We also provide emergency one-time assistance to women in the Inland Empire and Los Angeles area with the money available. Housing and food are our biggest priority right now. We're seeing families facing foreclosure and eviction due to the drastic change in income that comes from not being able to work. It often takes months to get food stamps and SSI if they qualify, and even with this assistance, a good portion of our families are living on less than $1,000 a month. So we are currently assisting 120 women per month here at Breast Cancer Angels, and the need to grow. We could only exist with the help of wonderful angels like you. On behalf of our wonderful volunteers and of course the women we serve, thank you. Faye C. Dyker, Breast Cancer Angels. So our Christmas charity last year, and probably will be again this year, was Ann Steinmetz found families. We assisted 4 families that the moms had stage 4 cancer. And in the case with the family that we did a complete Christmas for, trees, a meal, and clothing and presents, on that family, there was a family of 4, and they were living in one room, the whole family. And another family we helped with just food and clothing, while they were sharing a room with another family. These people end up desperate, you know, they have all these medical expenses and can't go to work. And so anyway, that was our charity last year and again this year. And this was a very nice note from that. Sure was.
Yes, give yourselves another hand. Yes.
Do you need your phone for the...
It's okay, Scott's recording at the same time, so I can turn
All right,
off.
then we will turn it over to the Sunshine Secretary, Diva.
So first, I'd like to say that Peter and Kathy Perone celebrated their 47th anniversary last week.
Everything she knows.
Put up with her all those years.
Peter, you never had a lawyer, kid.
It was 47, right?
47
That's what I thought. Almost as
Seems like twice that.
I'm your 2-year-old from back then. Anyway, we also had some birthdays this month. I know I'm the Sunshine Secretary, and I'm going to tell you today it's not looking real good right now. But that's it. Hopefully we bring some rain after you all make it home, because we really like that. We had some birthdays this month, and I don't see anybody in the room that had a birthday this month. Am I wrong? Don't answer that. Like he was August, yes.
Yeah, I was August.
He wasn't here. Are you a birthday this month?
Just read the list anyway, in case that's Cesar San Diego.
Right. So for the Orange County, it's Callahan, Ronald Cooper, Patricia Dawson, Laura Dobson, Helen Eckfield. Marie Ferguson, who is our vice president of the Orange County chapter, is his wife. Robert Haywood, Lori Honoroff, and we'd like to honor her because she couldn't be here today. She's out with a family thing that they like to do. And that's Craig Honoroff's wife. He's the secretary to this chapter. Christine Lampy, Joseph McGreevy, Kenneth Miller, Lori Kohler, Danny Redmond, Philip Roberts, Ann Steinmetz, who Bob was just talking about, and I'd like to just fill in a little bit more there. For those of you that don't know Ann and Jim Steinmetz, every cent they make through the Christmas season, they donate back out. It does not go in their pockets. They're awesome people. And Joseph Citadel. Also, as Senator Rick said, and I know sunshine is on bloom, but we also like to send out our love to Santa Jim Johnson's family. Thank you.
Just for the record, Lori Picolar is Lori Honoroff. It's her feed name.
Oh, you got him on here twice.
She requested a separate.
See how you are? You didn't put her on there.
All right, thank you. Okay, next on the agenda is the activities report. Our chapter's activities coordinator is Debbie England, so I will let her explain the upcoming events, including our fundraiser.
September 28th is Sunday is our Quartermania. I'm hoping everybody comes.
It is so fun.
Good.
It is so fun.
Oh, good.
It's fun.
They're hoping for 100 people. I have no clue with all the chapters how many people will come, but hopefully.
We sold 4 more tickets online.
Woohoo!
Yay, woohoo!
We haven't bought our tickets.
Tickets are available online.
So
Just go to
fun.
vendor sponsors and look for Quartermania. Yep.
I take $20
At
worth.
least $20 worth. Yeah, you're gonna. Yeah. Well, you can get a $100 item for 4 quarters. So, how many of those would you like?
So hopefully lots of people will come. Invite your friends, family, whomever.
Talk it up a lot, guys. You can bring anybody you want to. They don't have to be members. They can be your neighbors. They can be somebody you go to church with. Call somebody you haven't taken to lunch in a while and have them come out to the Elks Lodge. Have a lot of fun with us.
And if I may, also, it's not just you throw a quarter in the bucket. In between some of these, they do free ones. You don't have to put anything in. Everybody holds up there, and whatever number's picked, they get to win something. They're small prizes, but it's really cool.
You accept EDP?
Talk to me later.
The other thing that I looked online and saw that San Diego's meeting is October 1st. It's at Sunrise Buffet, Wednesday at 11:30 a.m. San Diego's meeting October 1st, Wednesday at 11:30, Sunrise Buffet.
Sharon, I thought you planned that event.
Not this time. I've not been it the last 2 months.
Oh, okay. All right.
We missed the last 2 months for one reason or another.
Okay. All right.
And then Kathy's going to talk about her chapter. And just wanted to let you all know that it's 96 days until Christmas Day.
96! Nice.
What about the medium event?
Oh, okay.
Haven't heard back.
She's still working on it.
Yeah.
So the Quartermania actually includes lunch and dessert. It's $15. What is the extra charge of an additional pattern.
Thank you.
I think it's $5.
Thank you.
It's a totally different person doing it this time, so her rules and stuff are a little different. But I think it's $5.
We're not sure. But
Who got that right? I'm sorry. Who got that
Actually, her response lacked the certitude that you require to condemn me.
right? No, it didn't.
That was last time though. Not here. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
So each person that pays to go gets a tab.
Yes.
I would like to mention something.
In case you want to put 2 bids in.
Like to have more paddles, the more paddles you have, the more you win.
Like bingo.
The more money you have to put in.
Yes, Scott.
I was just wondering.
The lady that's going to run it this time is more professional on a more professional level. We will get the money right then and there. There's no hem-hawing around. So please come out. I would appreciate that. That's all I need to say.
We were kind of wondering about that sleep. We ain't done that.
Okay, and that was the Orange County activities. Kathy, would you like to rise and address the Inland Empire?
Okay, everybody, listen up because I got a lot of stuff that I'm going to try to.
Take notes, there'll be a quiz in a minute.
Right. Our last meeting of the year is going to be October 18th. It's going to be a dual chapter meeting. It's really important that everybody come. Because, you know, that's going to be the final for the reading, correct? Okay, so it's important that everybody comes to that. It's going to be out in Chino. It's going to be at Deborah Houston's design studio. She has a very professional setup in her on her property. She has her home in front. She has a separate building that is her studio. And Peter and I have 25 years experience in the fashion industry. We know what a design studio is supposed to look like, and believe me, she fits the bill. Everything. So that's, you don't have to worry about anything. Now, it's not going to be a lunch. It's going to be after lunch, but everybody bring a dessert or some hors d'oeuvres or something to share. Starting at 1 or? At 1.
Do we bring our own chairs?
She'll be fully equipped.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's pretty much it. Okay, so
But you do have to RSVP.
everybody has to RSVP. I'm going to be on the phone calling people because the board will have a special surprise for those Santas who do show up. Yes.
Let me interject here. I'm not sure if Debbie mentioned this because I got distracted, but this will also, the same event that Kathy is describing will be a joint chapter event. That will also be the Orange County chapter meeting for next month as well. The promotions will stipulate that our Orange County chapter meeting is going to be outside Orange County this time, but because we're going to have a joint chapter meeting with the Inland Empire. We will have a brief business session, as I presume the Inland Empire chapter probably will also, but the remainder of that day is for the event that Kathy's describing.
It will be well worth coming. Yes, Bob.
Why don't you tell some of the people that are unfamiliar with Deborah something about her?
She is a professor from FIDM, the Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandising. She has over 30 years experience in fashion design. She does not have to work off of a pattern. She can make her own. She's very professional, very experienced. She will direct, yes.
What is she? What exactly is she designing?
She makes Santa suits and Mrs. Claus suits and elf suits and beautiful things.
Okay, all right, all right. No, you didn't say anything about that.
She's a designer of
Do a
outfits.
wedding gown for you if you'd rather.
Oh, right now.
In red?
Whatever you want.
Right now, she's actually working on a wedding gown.
And she is also donating one of our three grand raffle prizes this year. We will be offering not one but 2 custom Claus suits at the luncheon this year. Grand raffle prizes. The 3rd grand raffle prize is the Conleys, right? Yeah. Are donating That's what I thought. Just wanted to make sure.
A week stay at a resort.
I often step off the sidewalk when I start talking about members from memory. But our third grand prize raffle will be the Conleys are donating a timeshare vacation.
So anyway, I just wanted you to come out and see, because this is it's another choice for a supplier for your Santa and Mrs. Claus needs. She made Peter's military Santa Claus suit. She made my Mrs. Claus gown. She's working on a brand new suit for them. She directed us to a great place in LA where we went and bought the fabric for his new suit. And she was able to get us a 20% discount on the fabric that we bought. Absolutely amazing.
Good.
So I'm moving on. Is there anything more?
Anything you want to say?
Anything more questions about this event on the 18th?
RSVP.
Well, I've hit everybody up here. And I've got all their names. So
Okay.
I'm going to have Dan Keeney do a flyer.
Perfect.
Right away, yes.
Put us down on the RSVP list.
The Conleys.
This is one of the few meetings that we have a mandatory RSVP for.
I couldn't get online on Wednesday for the Skype meeting, so I made lemonade out of lemons and went to a chamber mixer. And I want you all to know that the Chamber of Commerce in your cities have mixers all the time. And it's a great way to network and tell people about what you do.
You have to join it?
No. You do not have to be a chamber member to go to a mixer.
There is a cover usually.
I paid $10.
Hours of 5.
When I went there, I met the senior account executive for the Ontario Fury, which is a indoor soccer team, soccer team arena in Ontario, which is this great place. He wants us to be there on January 3rd, which is the 9th day of Christmas, by the way, and would like to have the Santas and Mrs. Clauses be in costume. It is going to be a soccer game, and it will also be, the event is a fundraiser for the Loma Linda Children's Hospital. So I wanted you to know about that. I'm going to go over there and check the place out, make sure the seats are comfortable, because if you're not going to be comfortable in your Santa suits, then I have another idea, which will maybe be wear your Santa pants, and then maybe get some Fury t-shirts and then a Santa hat, so that can be kind of cute also. So I've got different ideas. I just want to make sure that nobody's uncomfortable at that age. But it'll be really nice. And Diva, once again, is going to sing the national anthem at another sports event. The guy told me if she sang at the Quakes, we want her at the Fury. Yes. So that's fun.
Why doesn't Rick Stein sing with her?
Because every group, every sports organization in Southern California knows what bait to lure us with. Just dangle Diva on the end of the hook.
Yeah.
Diva dangle.
Here's your Santa singing Santa.
We'll see.
So I got that's what
Do
we
it.
said.
Yay.
Okay, one more thing. We're scheduled for May 2nd for our Quakes game for next year.
Yay!
Diva's gonna sing again. I've got 50 tickets reserved, and they are donating a gift basket of Quakes stuff for our fashion show and reunion. And our account executive is going to come and attend our fashion show we mentioned. And also, the fellow from the Fury, he's going to come and to the fashion show, and I'm going to ask him for a gift basket for our.
You go get it.
I was at the bank yesterday, and I asked for a Wells Fargo gift basket of promotion stuff.
It's so easy.
All you gotta do is ask. You got a 50% chance of getting what you want. If you ask 100% of the time, you ask.
Yeah.
Also, Tom's Farms canceled.
Oh yeah, we're not doing the Tom's Farms thing.
Right, Tom's Farms has been canceled, that they normally do in November because a lot of the Santas start their season in November. So, there you go.
Good.
Yeehaw, girl! You did a great job. RSVP. Did she get you down?
Will there be an address and directions?
Oh, yeah, whole enchilada.
It'll be coming out.
I'm gonna go pick up my computer today.
And that seems like a logical place to plug in these comments on these cards that we created this year to help recruit vendors and sponsors for the reunion. Should make things a lot easier this year. Last year we relied heavily on the planning committee to solicit the gift baskets and stuff. This year we've created these cards to make it easy for every member to assist in recruiting. We basically have two cards which are almost identical on the front, and on the back side we have the sponsor card. On the back it tells the levels of opportunity that are available if they would like to help sponsor the Santa reunion. It's so easy just to have these cards with you, take a few of them with you, and just like Kathy was just doing, when you're out somewhere and you talk to your favorite restaurant or the girl that does your nails or whatever, just pull one of these cards out and say, by the way, if I've never mentioned it before, I'm a Forbes member or associate, and we sponsor the oldest and largest annual event in the Santa world, and we're recruiting. You have an opportunity to help us sponsor the reunion next year. The three levels are the $100 level we're calling the North Pole Honor Roll. The $50 level, the $50 level we're calling the Rappin' Rapplers, because hopefully there'll be gift baskets. And then there's a $25 level just for gift cards and things like that. They're called the card players. And then of course there are 4 opportunities to purchase advertisements in the yearbook. So sponsors have a lot of opportunities to contribute and join at a $25 level all the way up. Just remember, if they ask, we're a 501c7, so their contributions are not tax deductible at their end. When can we get these cards? These cards are available right now. I will encourage you to take some of them with you. You probably, most of you will not need that many of the sponsor recruiting cards. These are actually the cards that I would really encourage you, I'm sorry. Take the sponsor cards with you. Everybody make sure you have 5 or 10 of them in your pocket with you at all times. The other card you probably won't need as much of. This is our vendor recruiting card, and on the back of this card it shows the various vendor opportunity levels if they would like to join our vendor fair and support the reunion in that way. If you have a few of these with you and you're talking to somebody about the reunion and the vendor fair, if they have a product or service of interest to the Christmas community, have one of these in your purse too and say the vendor fair might be. The vendor fair, quite literally, some of our vendors have reported last year that it was their best single weekend gross sales of the year. So I know this is a great opportunity for mom and pop organizations, companies. Lauren.
Would it help if you had a picture of the picture coming down with you to show just what is, we have a picture of?
Of what?
Of the Santas that attend, and they take a picture.
The group photo you mean?
Yeah, if somebody had that with them and they were showing these cards,
it probably wouldn't hurt, absolutely.
And these are just the Santas.
If you got your smartphone on you can always go to the Santa Reunion store. There are photos there.
I've been a vendor at events, knowing what the gate was at the previous event.
Hang on, guys. Go ahead.
I was going to say, if you can tell a potential vendor, well, we had over 5,000, X insert number here. People come to our last event, and so that encourages. Because if you're a vendor and you haven't been somewhere before, you wonder, well, how many people are going to show up?
It's good that you mentioned that. The vendor fair will be more widely advertised to the communities surrounding Knott's Berry Farm this year. We hope to generate a lot more non-luncheon traffic for the vendor fair on Saturday and for Sunday. So they'll have a lot of opportunity to sell their merchandise.
Put it on Craigslist.
All right, and Facebook and anything else. Yes. For a non-member, the first vendor booth is $100. The second table is $50. You can have up to 3 tables in the vendor fair. So a non-member will spend $100, $150, or $200 depending. Members, of course, get a 50% discount. So if they're a Santa or a Mrs. Claus or an elf, encourage them, if they're not already members, to find a member and join, because they can save more than enough on their vendor fees to pay the registration fees for joining the reunion. So it's actually a good deal.
Out there in the street, and you can get them
And I'll thank you for continuing to leave them on the street. If you don't mind.
That includes the ones that are holding the signs.
If they join Forbes, they will save 50% on their vendor fees, which is twice as much as they're going to pay in registration fees.
But I can only join Forbes if they're a real bearded Santa.
Yeah, or an associate that works with a real bearded Santa, or an elf that works with a real bearded Santa. And we have a lot of Santas who don't have their own Mrs. Clauses, so an association shouldn't be that difficult to arrange.
How do they do that if they don't have a Santa?
Call me, and I'll see what we can do about working with them.
Okay, because they can't really join, they're not
Unless they've worked with the bylaws require that they regularly appear with a Forbes Santa, so we'll work with that. We'll see what we can do about that. I mean, if they're Mrs. Claus or an elf and they haven't worked with a Forbes Santa before, we'll see what we can do about that.
fire a few of ours.
So anyway, those are the two, I want to make sure that you guys know that we have plenty of these cards available. We'll distribute them later. We have, you know what, I will step back. Sharon, are you familiar with the events coming up for the San Diego chapter? Do you have anything to advise there? Okay, we will just skip that. Okay, all right. Well, then we'll move on to old business then. And since we're still on the postcards, anybody who went to the luau last month knows that our Santa training session last time was a presentation by Sustainable Santa, Dr. Richard Eckfield, and he has a campaign now going called Healthy Happy Santas. And Santas of the OC, along with Santas San Diego and the Inland Empire chapter, have all agreed to help support that nationwide campaign. Many of us have paid our entrance fee and weighed in so that we can join the year-long campaign toward fitness that he is advocating. And the Orange County chapter had volunteered to help with his printing expenses so that he can promote more widely and more nationally without extending his own personal investment, which I understand is approaching $500 now. But because we have an association with Carrie and Tony over at We Tease and We Print, we can get 1,000 of these double-sided postcards printed for $60. And it was our suggestion at the last meeting that we invest the $60. We tabled that motion pending Gary Hahn's recommendation that we shop around for discounts of quantity in case we wanted to order more cards than that. We did discover the Santa Joe Mystic that at the San Diego chapter could provide us with 5,000 of these cards for $150. I will open it to discussion, but I'll begin by saying, in my personal opinion, 1,000 of these cards would probably be a sufficient initial investment. And if the distribution at that level goes extremely well, we can consider investing in an additional 1,000. The discount or the economy of scale that would become available at the next tier up would provide us with 5 times as many cards for 3 times the cost. And I think, to be totally honest with you, I think $1,000 1,000 cards is sufficient. But I'll pause here and let anybody comment.
What? I joined and weighed in. What now? I haven't heard.
Lose weight.
There will be regular communications. One of the primary things that he's attempting to organize is is internal social network, so that everybody who has joined the program will be able to communicate at will with all of the other.
Maybe doing that now since we did that last month.
I'll give you his email address, my friend. All I can say.
Oh yeah. I mean, we've done it. We signed up, and we haven't heard a word.
We haven't heard a word either.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's a year-long program, and this, I guess he could.
And he is in Oregon.
Yeah, he's on a.
Right, he's on a tour.
Can he do things
Can we turn down
on
the
the internet? Can he make entries on the internet? Kind of involve us?
I think he's looking for some help, Lauren. I think he would appreciate you organizing that online. I will communicate your volunteerism to him. Okay, so is there anybody else who would like to comment on the cards? Okay, if I don't hear any additional commentary, I'll entertain a motion that the chapter invest $60 in buying 1,000 cards for Healthy Happy Santa for Richard Eckfield. Any motion? We have a motion. Do we have
I'll
a
second it.
It's been moved and seconded that the Orange County Santas invest $60 to buy 1,000 cards for Healthy Happy Santa. All in favor say, I'm sorry, additional discussion?
No, I'm just saying.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. Of course there are none. Thank you very much. So we will contact Dr. Eckfield and cooperate in his design, or allow him to cooperate in the design, and we will buy 1,000 cards to promote them. Thank you to the chapter. Okay, the other item of, I can't remember if I was going to do it new business or old business.
That was old business.
You're in old. Oh.
No, I can't even remember what it was.
It was you.
When you figure it out, it'll be new business.
Yeah. Okay.
It'll be New Year business next year.
Oh well, maybe I'll remember it later. Okay, well, moving. Does anybody else have any old business that they would like the chapter to attend? Okay, no answer. So, moving on to new business, and the only item I have under new business is a brief report on the 2015 Planning Committee. We have, most of you guys are fully aware of everything that's going on, so I'll make it really brief. The plans are moving along the pace, registrations are open. We have a satisfactory response to the opening of registrations. We have already generated sufficient income that we can cover any upcoming expenses in preparation for the reunion. This year's big news, of course, is the keynote speaker. We have really, I wish Elizabeth was here because she deserves so much credit for this. We've tried to get a keynote speaker a couple of times and with mixed results, obviously, but this time everything just came together. It was a convergence of fortuitousness for us. Elizabeth is a librarian, member of the National Librarians Council or something like that. And she was at a National Librarians event, and there was a book signing associated with the event. She happened to go to it. There were a lot of these types of events going on. It's like the Sundance Festival. You know, if you go there, there's thousands of things going on. Well, she happened to go into one of those auxiliary events and met Eric Kaplan, who is the executive producer and lead writer for CBS's Big Bang Theory. His previous projects included The Simpsons and Malcolm in the Middle and Futurama, and those credentials enough would have been sufficient to drive some interest in Southern California. Anybody with that many associations with Hollywood would be a good catch anyway. But as luck would have it, this year he wrote a book. It's coming out October 18th, and the title of the book is Does Santa Exist? And as soon as Elizabeth introduced herself to him and began to describe our organization to him, she said his eyes lit up. So he has completely committed to a simpatico relationship, a symbiotic relationship with the luncheon. He's going to appear as our keynote speaker. He's going to do a book signing in the vendor fair. There's going to be considerable interest in the community. So there will be a lot of people who will show up just to attend his book signing. We're hopefully going to be able to sell some of his books in advance so that we can drive a few sales for him, maybe a little more interest at the book signing table. He has asked us, and his publishers, Dutton Press, have asked us if he could participate in any Santa events that we have going on in mid to late October, because his book is scheduled to come out on October 18th. He is offering us a central position in the launch promotions for this book, which I predict will be an NYT bestseller before Christmas. So we have an opportunity to get on the very ground floor with this guy. Eric and Dutton are really offering us a prime opportunity here. And I, in turn, have been trying to light a fire under Knott's Berry Farm to see if in the next 30 days, excuse me, they could organize a media event so that we can all participate. Dutton Press can help promote. Eric will show up as one of the key figures for the media event. And Knott's Berry Farm, of course, as usual, will provide the venue, the promotions, and things like that. Some of you guys went to the paint opening. Some of you guys were at the launch of Pony Express. You guys know how we do it. We at Knott's roll. And if we can get a media event scheduled for mid to late October, we will promote the bejesus out of it. And I beg you guys to come out and join us. Bring your, put on your finery and come on out and see if we can get a media event together. That'll generate some, not just local media attention, but maybe we'll make the national, the cable networks that night. And this, in October, we're hoping. We don't. In fact, I haven't even gotten a response from Lady at Knott's yet, so I widened the distribution for my last email. So Debbie Farmer is included in it now, and hopefully we'll get some other people to help light a fire there too. Yes, Ted.
You still do believe it will be a midweek event, so it won't conflict with our October 18th meeting? It hasn't been discussed. If she calls back and suggests a weekend, we'll deal with that potentiality. But I think all of the events we've done for Knott's have almost always been weekday events. The launching, the restaurant, things like that. I think they've always been midweek events anyway.
They have.
So we're hoping that they will be, and we're hoping that Knott's will pony up a little bit of media coin and give us something we can be proud of. If we do make it on the cable news networks at the end of October, imagine how that will benefit us, coming up during Christmas season and then driving publicity toward the reunion. Those same, if nothing else, those same editors and producers for the cable news networks will already be aware of us. So when we send out our promotion package for the reunion a couple of months later, they will say, tick, tick. Okay, I still can't remember what the thing is I wrote in for the new business. I did put it in parentheses, so I think it had something to do with you, but I can't remember what it was now. So anyway, we'll just address that some other way. Oh, I remember what it is. Thank you. I did finally remember what it was. Thank you. The Santa training thing that we usually do during our meetings. I know this meeting is going long, so I'm not going to drag this out. But I made a commitment this year that we were going to add a Senior Santa training session to our chapter meetings whenever we could. And last month it was Santa Richard Eckfield's Healthy Happy Santa. But anyway, this week, or this month I should say, I've decided that I was going to donate to the raffle my favorite coffee book table ever. This is Wonders of the World. And it's all of Santa's favorite places to visit during the Christmas holidays. So that's why I keep it on my coffee table. So when people come in, I always have, what's your favorite thing? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So as a tie-in with this raffle present, I decided that this month's Santa training session would be very simple. First of all, I'd like to teach some of you guys since we're in Southern California, bilinguality is a must, and if you can't be fully bilingual, you at least need to learn a couple of phrases that you can use to deal with Spanish-speaking clientele. And I have gotten by exactly, you only need a few words and a single sentence with a follow-up. This is what I say. ¿Que quieres que te traiga Santa Claus? Which means, what would you like Santa to bring you? Or, put another way, is there something you would like Santa to bring you? Is there something you would like from Santa this year? And no matter what they say, and I never understand what the response is, whatever they say, I say, oh, un regalo, dos regalo? Which means, oh, a nice present. Would you like 2 presents? And that's usually enough to get them off. And if they have nice shoes, you can say, que bonita botas, or something like that. So just learn a few phrases in Spanish. That'll be more than enough to get you through the booth or get you through the chair on a Santa set. But if you're doing private parties, My biggest hit, as you guys know, I do a custom Santa, Singing Santa and Diva Claus, come up with a new song every year that's never been performed anywhere before. In fact, I write them most of the time. A couple of years ago, and still one of our most popular ever, I came up with Santa's Route. And I must admit that I didn't write this one. It is an Animaniacs cartoon. If anybody's familiar with the Animaniacs, this is one of their educational cartoons, Countries of the World. So I just lifted it whole intact, memorized the whole song, and now I call it Santa's Route. And I always I always introduce it to make it sound more natural. I always introduce it by saying, first of all, I'd like to apologize to anybody here who might have been involved in the incident of '08. As some of you know, Santa had a senior moment that night and forgot some of the places that he was supposed to go on his route. But of course, Mrs. Claus knew about it, and as soon as I got back, she made me throw some toys in the sleigh and go right back out. So when I came back at the end of that night, Mama made me sit right down and make a list of everywhere I was supposed to go so that I'd never forget again. And then we got to thinking that it's so windy in the sleigh and I'm so careless, I'd probably lose a list. So she told me I couldn't have my Christmas cookies until I memorized that entire list. But to make it easier to remember and a little more fun, I turned it into a song. Would you like to hear it? Nobody ever says no. So, and that's where you begin. And I'm not saying you guys have to memorize that, but I provided you with the lyrics if you'd like to. And the song, the tune is from the Mexican hat dance. So everybody knows the tune. It's just a matter of learning the lyrics as much as you want to. I'll tell you the tip that I have learned over the years in learning lengthy dialogue. And when I was doing commercials, especially for Stargates, I had to learn long sequences because they wouldn't cut. So I have learned that the easiest way to remember long dialogue is rote repetition. And to incentivize myself to get it right, I always start with the first line, and I try to recite it from memory. If I get it correct, I move on to the second line. And I keep going until I make a mistake. When I do, I have to go back to the beginning, and I start the whole thing over again. So by the time I'm working on the third stanza, I'm repeating the first stanza for the 35th, 40th, 50th time, and by this time literally, you guys can do this. This trick works in a single afternoon. I have learned 5 minutes of dialogue fresh off of a side sheet in a half an hour and memorized it because this is how you do it. You just repeat it over and over again. You work your way all the way through until you make a mistake, then you go back to the beginning and start again, and your mind starts to learn where the mistakes are going to come up, and you just slide right past them. So anyway, would you like me to sing it for you before we go?
Yes.
Okay, I'll do it. So, when I leave the North Pole every Christmas Eve, I always start in the same place. United States, Canada, Mexico, Panama, Haiti, Jamaica, Peru, Republic Dominican, Cuba, Caribbean, Greenland, El Salvador, too, Puerto Rico, Colombia, Venezuela, Honduras, Guyana, and still Guatemala, Bolivia, then Argentina, and Ecuador, Chile, Brazil, Costa Rica, Belize, Nicaragua, Bermuda, Bahamas, Tobago, San Juan, Paraguay, Uruguay, Suriname, and French Guiana, Barbados, and Guam, and then I go to Europe, Norway, and Sweden, and Iceland, and Finland, and Germany, now in one piece. Switzerland, Austria, Czechoslovakia, Italy, Turkey, and Greece, Poland, Romania, Scotland, Albania, Ireland, Russia, Oman, Bulgaria, Saudi Arabia, Hungary, Cyprus, Iraq, and Iran, there's Syria, Lebanon, Israel, Jordan, both Yemen, Kuwait, and Bahrain, the Netherlands, Luxembourg, Belgium, and Portugal, France, England, Denmark, and Spain. Then I go to Asia, India, Pakistan, Burma, Afghanistan, Thailand, Nepal, Bhutan, Cambodia, Malaysia, Bangladesh, Asia, China, Korea, Japan, Mongolia, Laos, Tibet, Indonesia, the Philippines, Island, Taiwan, Sri Lanka, New Guinea, Sumatra, New Zealand, Borneo, and Vietnam, Tunisia, Morocco, Uganda, Angola, Zimbabwe, Djibouti, Botswana, Mozambique, Zambia, Swaziland, Gambia, Guinea, Algeria, Ghana, and that's where I made my mistake. So when I went back out that night, I was in a pretty good hurry to get back to Burundi, Lesotho, Malawi, Togo, the Spanish Sahara is gone, Nigeria, Chad, Liberia, Egypt, Benin, Gabon, Tanzania, Somalia, Kenya, Mali, Sierra Leone, and Algiers, Dahomey, Namibia, Senegal, Libya, Cameroon, Congo, Zaire, Ethiopia, Guinea-Bissau, Madagascar, Rwanda, New York, Cameroon, Hong Kong, Abu Dhabi, Qatar, Yugoslavia, Cream Mauritania, the Transylvania, Monaco, Liechtenstein, Malta, Palestine, Fiji, Australia, Sudan. And then while they're clapping, we always say, okay, everybody, United States, Mexico, and that is still, to this day, many of my clients are demanding it again for the third time in a row this year. It's just a really popular thing. And if you can remember it, I guarantee you, they'll cheer you off the stage and on their shoulders. It's just a big hit. So, that's my Senior Santa training seminar for this week. Is there anything anybody would like to share? Yeah, Jim.
I go to LA Fitness in Long Beach. And about every third week I wear this shirt, Believe. And there's a guy there that for about last year or so, every time he sees me, no matter what I'm wearing, Mr. Believe, how you doing? The guy wrote me a poem about a month ago about Mr. Believe. And I thought I would like to share this. On Christmas Eve, Mr. Believe has a few ancient tricks up his right sleeve. From his snow-capped mansion, he takes his leave with only one co-pilot whose name is Steadfast Steve. Over crowded cities with their garrets and eaves speeds a Greek slave that is Mr. Believe. It's amazing that he can achieve in just a few hours, but that is the magic of Mr. Believe. Starting out late is always his pet peeve, although his path would meander and weave. In straight past lost moments in time, he'd retrieve and speed across the green continents that often weep because of wars and misunderstandings that deserve a reprieve. Onward he goes, our Mr. Believe, with his map-reading helper, Steadfast Steve. Together they deliver the noise that comfort those who grieve. And to many faces a smile he can pull from his bag, with a hoe and a heave such as a jovial job of Mr. Believe. 'Tis better to give than receive. That is what Mr. Believe chooses to believe.
Very nice.
I wrote this in the locker room, sitting there naked. The guy was here.
It was scary.
And he had this is the kind of weird thing. And I had a hard time reading that. And the guy he gave me his card. He said his business is the Word Bucket. He edits and proofreads term papers, things like this. Wow.
See if we can get permission to reprint.
The guy said he would illustrate it for me.
There you
He
go.
hasn't yet, but I'm looking forward to that.
See if he'll grant permission for us to print it.
I was going to ask him.
Sure.
Yeah, I think he would like that.
That'd be great in the book. That'd be in the good in the book.
The guy's name is
Steadfast Steve. No.
Steadfast Steve.
Gregory something. I can't read it.
Pope Gregory the First.
Anyway, I liked it.
That was awesome. Thank you.
Excellent. Okay, that takes care of the agenda. Does anybody else have anything they'd like to share? Okay, before I close the meeting, and it's our habit to close the meeting before we begin the raffle. But before I close the meeting, I just want to remind you guys that there's internet here, so I can take registrations, vendor registrations or member registrations if you want to, and we can conduct fiscal transactions today if you want to. So if you're ready to do any business with Senate's of the OC or the Journal Order, I'm ready to take care of the business for you. If nobody else has any questions, yes, Lauren.
Is it set up to go ahead and pay our $25 and get our membership and the
Can you do that today?
Sure, member registration. Now the insurance you'll pay directly to Carter Campbell. Our only involvement with the insurance is that we certify your membership to Carter Campbell before they issue your policy.
Well, I mean, can we go through the Santa store?
I have an internet connection, and you're welcome to use it for anything that you want to. I can take member registrations online right now. You can pay your dues. You can pay for your luncheon registrations if you want to. Any transaction with any of the Santa organizations.
That's our money that he's doing transactions. Insurance and background checks is their money.
Oh, okay. But I can facilitate and get through to them by our website.
Yeah, there was a link on our website.
That's it, a link.
Yeah.
Once you pay your dues, though, because they won't issue it. She says, okay.
And if you submitted your member registration form online in the last few days since we launched the registrations promotions, I'm a couple of days behind in responding to those, but I spent all last night trying to catch up on them. So if you haven't gotten, if you registered and paid your dues and you're waiting for your background check link, it'll be out in the next 24 hours. Okay, if there's nothing else, we'll close the meeting. I don't know whether to do it with a motion or not, but I'll just do it by declaration.
Oh, she's waiting.
What do we got? She's waiting for her 50. Last chance to purchase raffle ticket. All right, guys, we'll close.
Somebody grab his phone and get him in it too.
Give me a ho ho ho!
Oh, yeah.
God, I love you guys.
His phone and take some pictures.
It's like a beer commercial. I love you, man.
With us, it's called an Elfie.
Elfie, there you go.
Get an Elfie.
We gotta get one with you.
Give me some movement. I'm on video.
Get one and they'll send it to you.
Oh, wait a minute.
There you go.
Oh, now that looks way better.
How do you get it to do the other?
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all he does.
He really was taking selfies. The whole time we were posing, he was taking pictures of himself.
Okay, I don't know if I got everybody.
Just get me. That would be a selfie.
One more here.
You can put your finger on there.
I'm on video, so you look at her when you're trying to take pictures.
Okay.
Yay!
Wait a minute, we're going to...
I knew it!
That's okay. We haven't paid for anything yet. That's right. How you doing, Bob? We're in trouble.
That's on the cook's line. Still cooking.
Everybody else is starving.
It's hard to get them to leave that.
My turkey sandwich was fresh.
Yes, it was.
Even though it took 2 days.
We had a couple of well done items that we were waiting for.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thanks, Anna.